Welcome, everyone. I hope you can hear me. How's everyone doing? Thank you so much for waiting so patiently. You guys notice anything different? Anything different? Let me lower. Yeah, that's better. Now my lights like actually, my lights over there, microphone's over there. Figuring out the setup still. You guys, I'm not sure how I want to have this done exactly, but we got the color changing lights, and I figured might be fun for today to just see the full spectrum. But yeah, I have just a little update for you all. I have a tapestry up, I put lights up, and behind the tapestry, I came up with a genius invention of sound like proofing panels. If anybody's familiar, they make these like foam panels that is supposed to help with like noise absorption. And this apartment isn't too loud, but you know, I already had turns out you can't just like stick foam panels like to the wall directly with like command strips, which is what the internet told me I could do. Cannot do that. So I ended up using like permanent bonding adhesive to attach the foam panels to like cardboard squares basically, and then I attached those to the wall. Worked much better. So there you go. wrong on both counts. I have not had my eyebrows threaded, and I have not gotten a haircut. I just look different on any given day, really. I am wearing makeup today, which I don't always do for my my live streams, but I felt like putting on a little eyeliner, so here we are. Every time we get a Patreon goal, I feel like we're decorating your house like Animal Crossing. A little bit. This is a stream goal. Actually, I should update my stream goal, but okay, question for you all. What should our next stream goal be? Cuz I don't know. Like I don't know what my next stream goal should be. I'm not sure. I thought you had to glue on those panels. No, you don't. The general guideline, if you're looking, is like, oh, you need to basically use like a foam adhesive that's permanent to spray them onto the wall. You do not need to do that. You can absolutely attach them to a smooth surface and then use that to attach them to the walls. And they've been up for 3 days now, and they've been doing great. So no issues on my end. I look very big sister today. I will take it. I feel like I just have like that's my energy is like big sister energy, and I'm more than happy to do that. All right. So, let's see. Fun things going on. We got God, there's just so much. So, before I get any further, let's just do the spiel. Let's do the spiel. So, as always, as it says right down below right there, 18 plus only. Please read the rules. This is an 18 plus only live stream because we do talk about BDSM, we do talk about kinky stuff, and that is for your safety. If you are a young person who is watching right now, you know, you don't know the age of everybody in the chat, don't want to facilitate any kind of inappropriate interactions. Educating yourself is great. Participating, dangerous. Talking to adults that do BDSM, dangerous for you, dangerous for us. Just best not to mix those waters, shall we say. Other than that, general rules, things to know, full list is down below. I have a link to a full FAQ, which has like 20 different like commonly asked questions in it. If you haven't read that, please do. So if you have a question like, how do I introduce my boyfriend to BDSM? How do I get started doing BDSM? Where did you buy XYZ thing? Where should I buy XYZ thing? Blah, blah, blah. Those sorts of questions answered in the FAQ. We covered it. We gotcha. It's in there. Check it out. It'll be a much more thought out and complete answer than I will give spontaneously on a live stream. I promise. So check that out. And general things, you know, be careful. I would recommend because these do stay up generally. I'm experimenting with how long I want to leave them up for because I basically retired like the first like 3 years of live streams essentially, like before I moved into this place. I'm kind of experimenting with how long I'll leave them up for. Like they'll be up for like at least a month or two probably, you know, generally after they're live. So keep that in mind. You know, if you're talking in the chat, it will be on screen for that. So if you say like your age, your exact location, that will be tied to your YouTube name. Just safety first, everyone. Think about that. And let's see, other big things. Please don't give medical advice in the chat. We're not here to give medical advice. I'm not a doctor. I can't fact check you in real time. And don't be rude and don't spam. I guess those are the, those are the big ones. Oh, and this isn't an FAQ, so ask whatever you want. You know, that could be kink related. Maybe it's about the Manson story. Maybe it's other, you know, recent allegations, things like that. Whatever it is you want to ask, feel free. If it isn't the FAQ, I will, you know, I might skip over it. If it's been a long time since I've talked about it, which is unlikely, I may give an updated answer. But, you know, feel free to ask whatever. We're here to vibe. We're here to chill. Next goal, Bandit Cam. Oh my god. I might actually, so like, I could actually maybe do that because you guys can't really see obviously, and I can't like move my camera to show you all because it's pretty affixed in place, but she's like right down there and she's in a bed and she pretty much like loves it there. She's like there all the time. I could conceivably figure out a way. Maybe I could do like a webcam. Maybe I could like gorilla pod a webcam to like look down at Bandit. Look down at the bed that Bandit hangs out in, and then you guys can get Bandit Cam that way. Bandit Cam. Bandit is my dog. Here, let me. Okay, we've reached the Bandit part of the show. All right. Hi, honey. Are you sleeping? You want to come say hello? You got a haircut. You're so beautiful. Do you want to show off here? I know. Hi. You're a good girl. I'm going to stand there and collar real quick. It's okay. Okay. Yeah. Good girl. Good girl. Yes, we got a beautiful haircut. Ta-da! So I didn't get a haircut, but Bandit did. So anyways, welcome. Oh, honey, you're falling. You're falling. Hello. She's wagging her tail. You guys can't see. But Bandit. Want to hang out on my lap, honey? I know it. She's very little, so it's hard to see her. But this, honey, what in the world? How did you have hair in your mouth? What's going on? Anyways, this is Bandit. I will hold her like Simba. And there may be an incentive to put a camera to watch her and her beauty. And her relaxifyingness. So relaxed. Such a relaxed puppy. What are we doing? I know, you guys can probably... I don't know if the microphone's picking it up, but she's, like, making the little noise. She's like... We doing okay, baby girl? You doing okay? Alright. I'm gonna let you down. Thank you for your service. She, like, likes being on laps sometimes, but, like, the way I'm usually positioned on this chair, I do not have wide hips, and there's not really a lot of space for her to like chillax on. So she usually likes to do her own thing. She is a very small poof. She's big for a Pomeranian. She is, I think, 10 pounds, which she's not overweight. The doctor says that she's perfectly fine size for her size, in terms of how, you know, tall she is and things. But for a Pomeranian, like, she's like about twice as big as like a normal Pomeranian, which, you know, is actually, you know, I think generally good for her health-wise, you know, compared to a teacup Pomeranian. So no complaints, no fat shaming my dog, please. just how she is. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so I am going to show off. So one of the things we are going to do today is I have a ton of unframed, unmatted art that has just been living in... Honey! My goodness. Are we having puppy allergies? Hi, you're a good... Yeah, you're a good girl. Okay, maybe... Okay, donation goal for the stream. Donation goal for the stream. If we get $50 in donations, I will give Bandit her first ever yak stick. Which, if you don't know what a yak stick is, it's yak cheese that is good for dogs. I got a special, like, low... density kind that is good for older pets and sensitive chewers, and she's not had one before, and I've been saving it for something special, so maybe I'll do it on stream. Anyways, I have a bunch of art that has been living in a portfolio. It was like on a bookshelf somewhere. I just stored it, and I never ended up framing any of it, hanging any of it, and I've collected it over years of going to like Emerald City Comic Con and PAX and BDSM conventions and ordering shit from Etsy, and like I have so much of it. God, Emerald City Comic Con, so good for art. My favorite convention just for browsing the artist gallery. So good. But I have a bunch of stuff. I thought we could go through it. We could show it off. Maybe we could make some decisions about art for the wall. Maybe we could get some input from the people. That's what I was thinking. Thought it'd just be good. Yeah, she's so vicious. She chases squirrels, and that's about as exciting as it gets for Bandit in terms of danger. In terms of danger. Okay, I'm gonna scroll back up. Let's do the whole questions in order thing, shall we? Let's do the questions in order thing. I do sometimes play Valheim. It's usually Q&A though, because usually there's a lot of questions and things. Oh, so actually in April, there's 2 things going on. If you guys are looking for like a BDSM convention, like educational stuff, weekend of April 23rd to 25th, there is Kink Fest, kinkfest.org. I've talked about them plenty on my channel before. They are hosting a virtual event that weekend. It's going to be like basically one long day and then one shorter day on Sunday of classes. I think it goes from like the first day is like 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And then the second day I think is 11 to 5. And then bonus, same weekend. Oh yeah, same weekend. There's another convention called Thrive, which is BDSM also. But it's more focused around like the mental and like emotional health aspects of the BDSM and polyamorous community. So it's things like how to deal with BDSM breakups, the interactions between ADHD and BDSM, how to recognize verbal abuse in relationships. Lots of really interesting, I think, very topical topics. That's also April 23rd, 25th. That one is like 3 full days from, I think the website times might be off, but it's literally like 7 a.m. Pacific time to like 7 p.m. So like there's a lot of classes. There's a lot. So between those 2 conventions, if you're looking for educational stuff, those are awesome choices. Would definitely recommend. And I am planning on booking those 3 days. Is just gonna have myself a little educational staycation. Pretty much. That's the plan. So. I'm glad we like the lights. Somehow the lamp and the wall are 2 different brands of lights. They are not synchronized, but somehow in the 2 hours I've had them both on, the colors have started like the purple and green. Can we we love the purple and green. That's like my favorite combo. I love, as you can tell, like, I mean, my sweatshirt is purple and black, and then my chair is green and black. Like, I have color combos I like. I don't know why. I don't necessarily like green on its own as a color, but like with purple, like sort of the cyber, I think, element of it, if that makes sense. That's my jam for sure. I tried buying a choker, but it didn't fit me. Literally, Spencer sucks. Y'all don't even like bother going to Spencer's. I think I've been in a Spencer's like once or twice. Like friends took me in there as like a joke when I was in high school. I would definitely recommend looking at Etsy because people literally make custom size, any size. Also, the pet store, not a bad option. Don't be weird and creepy about it, please. But you know, if they can make collars that fit like Mastiffs and Akitas, like they're probably going to make ones that fit even very large human necks. So that would be my recommendation. But Spencer strikes me as a very one size fits all, mostly, anyways, kind of a place. Who's got ideas for munches in these times? A lot of people, it turns out. I know that my local community's been hosting munches. I haven't gone to any of them because the one, like the big munch that happens is like members only at the local dungeon. And to be honest, have not necessarily been inclined to spend $80 a month on a membership for over a year to go to a munch that I can't even go to because the time normally overlaps with one of my live streams. So I haven't gone to any munches really recently, but I have friends that host them and help with them, and they seem to be doing great. I guess this is kind of like a munch in a way, isn't it? I mean, it's 18 plus. We talk about kink, and this is basically a munch just on YouTube. If you think about it, it's not really that different. What brand of eyeliner do you use? So my go-to is the NYX Epic ink liner or something. It's like it's a brush liner. It's a fine brush liner. But the stuff I have on my eyes today, I go back and forth. I like felt tips. I like the Stila, the all day liquid liner. I usually, for the holidays when it's on sale, I'll get like the mini ones because they dry out, and so I don't see the benefit in buying a $30 liquid eyeliner that's going to dry out before I use all of it. So I bought the mini ones and I like those, but this is the Honest Beauty Company. I bought it on, it was literally like $3 on Amazon. I was ordering a bunch of other stuff. I was doing like a grocery order or something, and I saw that and I was like, I've been wanting to try another felt liner. The felt for me, in the way that I do my eyes and my eye shape, the felt actual part of the eyeliner is like too long. Like it ends up, how do I explain this? I end up using like this much of the actual pen itself, and the actual like full, like I never end up using all of it. And so like it ends up being a little bit unwieldy because like of how long I'm trying not to accidentally say euphemism that's going to get like clipped, but like it ends up just being too long and kind of unwieldy. So I think I probably would go back to the Stila eyeliner, but like the Honest Beauty stuff was like really affordable and worked pretty well. This is what I'm wearing today. So, there you go. In the last couple of videos as well, I've been using it. And I like the detail and the precision of like the NYX liquid eyeliners. But every once in a while, I like to change stuff up. I like to try something different. What is your favorite sex toy store? Less like BDSM gear, more like actual sex toys. There's a couple. I really like boutiques that sort of collect things from all over. Like there's one that's called Spectrum Boutique. That one definitely has like a more, if you're looking for higher end stuff, there's definitely higher end stuff. Oh, sorry, I realize I'm peeking and I'm trying to, it's too effective. Anyways, I really like shop. I think it's like Shop Spectrum Boutique on Instagram, but their website just Spectrum Boutique, and they have stuff from like all over. They have stuff that's made in the USA, obviously, Canada, like European things from like obscure little like German BDSM stores. Like they have kink stuff on there as well too, and just lots of interesting things. I also, in terms of something that's not really more of a boutique but is more mainstream but a good selection, She Vibe usually has a pretty good selection of a lot of different things. And once I find a brand that I like for example with lube, I tend to just buy it from wherever like stocks it. And we actually I tend to go, there's like a local sex shop that has a really good like BDSM selection in it that has a lot of stuff from like local kink crafts people. And so I try to go there to support them as often as I can because it's a local business. It's very kink positive, very trans positive, all the things positive you'd want a sex store to be. And so I tend to go there, and that's that on that, I think, as they say on Twitter. Oh, mashed potatoes. The last time I had mashed potatoes was probably Thanksgiving. I like potatoes, but like I never make them for myself. And I buy like the little cute, like the Japanese sweet potatoes, 'cause I think, oh, like one time I'm going to be hungry and I'm going to make myself a little potato. Never happens. I just forget they exist, and it never is in my brain, and they're so good. And I have a toaster oven now, so like next time I go to the store, I'm going to get some little tiny baby sweet potatoes, and I will endeavor to use them because I should, and they're good. And especially I really only eat potatoes and stuff in the wintertime anyways, so like I'm rapidly losing my window to be able to make use of them anyways. I've been meaning to look into self-collaring. What is that? I recently, as in the last 2 weeks, posted a video on that very subject, my friends. So if you would like an answer, it is out there in full in like an 18-minute long discussion format. So I hopefully I covered, I think, just about everything one would want to know about that, for my opinion anyways, from my experience in that video. Also, I do answer questions in order. So if I haven't gotten to your question yet, the solution is to not spam the chat with multiples of the same question in a row, because it just takes me longer to get through the chat, for one. And I'm not going to see your second and third question sooner than the first question. So just chill. It'll be okay. We're here. We're relaxing. Don't panic. I'll get to your question. It's all good, my dudes. All good. Oh gosh. Someone mentioned Animal Crossing. I read somewhere that people have done sex work and kink in Animal Crossing. I have definitely seen people that have like made dungeons and like porn sets, like using furniture items and forget the name of it. It's like when you design your own tile at Animal Crossing, like that stuff. I've seen people do stuff with that. And people ask me, like, oh, do you have like a dungeon in your BDS? Why would I have a BDSM dungeon in my Animal Crossing world? I don't feel the need to do that because I get to like live doing BDSM. And I can understand the appeal, but it's like, it's just not me. Like, I don't need to have, it's like why my whole house isn't black. Like, I'm secure mid-20s adult. Not everything in my life has to be a Killstar catalog, or everything needs to be a dungeon all the time. I understand the appeal, but like, I'm very fortunate this is like my daily life, and so I don't feel like I need to prove anything to anyone by having a dungeon in my apartment or in my Animal Crossing world or whatever else. You know, I can understand the appeal, like it's funny and everything, but not for me. Not for me personally. I do think it is funny though that no matter what Nintendo's intentions, people always find a way to make it sexual. No matter what Nintendo endeavors to do, people always fuck it up. Good stuff. Will you ever do a video about spanking? Yes, and just like the other 200 video ideas that I have, I'm sure it'll be at the top of the list eventually. But honestly, there's a really good book. Oh gosh, who's it by? It's by one of the people that did the new guide to topping and bottoming. I want to say it was Dossie. I don't. Something like the name Green comes to mind for some reason. But there is a book, and oh gosh, well now I'm gonna have to look it up because I don't remember the title exactly and I don't remember the author. So give me a second. I'll pull it up on Amazon. It's like the ultimate guide to spanking or something. Oh, Spanking for Lovers. That's what it is. Spanking for Lovers. Janet Hardy. That's, I don't know where green came from. Oh, because the background of the book is green, kind of. It's like this teal color. Yeah, so Janet W. Hardy, Spanking for Lovers. If you want to know about spanking, read that book. The person who wrote that is a true spanking aficionado to a degree that I do not embody. So I would recommend looking at that if you have spanking questions. In the meanwhile, I'm sure I'll cover it eventually, but it's not on the top of my list. Funnily enough, when I go into pup space, I end up getting a bit crazy with squirrels and other animals of about that size. Is that normal? I mean, it's kind of hard to tell what's normal, you know? It's BDSM. Normal is different for everyone, and kind of hard to judge. I personally don't feel that way. I'm definitely more of like a cuddly, like human-focused kind of a pet, you know? I'm a human's dog, I'm a dog's dog, you know what I mean? So I don't really feel that, but I guess I could see why. I would just be like, don't act on that, would be my advice. We watched, so for Patreon yesterday, I do like a live stream on Thursday for patrons, and we watched, among other things, a video that Truly recently did with Jenna the dog. I don't know what their full like social media name is, but this girl named Jenna that I know is a social media personality because people have been asking me about her for years, that does pet play and, you know, has an OnlyFans and has gotten really famous off of doing like pet play stuff. And all I can say, just to not to ruin it for people that are on Patreon, because they pay me, so they get exclusive content. But I will say it is disappointing. The stereotype of like clueless vanilla boyfriend, like facilitating girlfriend to do kink things without any sort of respect to the impact on the like larger BDSM community, like licking fire hydrants in public on all fours being walked on a leash, or going to an actual dog park when other people are around and walking on all fours with like bare feet and hands. Like it's unsanitary, it's unseemly, it's uncouth, it's like it's on everything. It's just there's no logical reason to do any of that, and it's just like I blame pornography. I blame fucking pornography because there's all these porn studios that are based out of Europe, and they do this shit where it's like walking my slave in full latex and ballet heels down a park in the middle of Belgium or whatever, and it's like just because you see it in a porno doesn't mean that it's socially acceptable. Like, can we not, please? Anyways, I gotta stop myself because if I talk about it, I will go on a rant again. And I'm sure nobody wants to see that. It's like the BDSM equivalent of a mall goth. It's so embarrassing. So embarrassing. You should share that in a community post. I don't know what that's referring to, but I generally don't use community posts. I don't like clogging up people's feeds with non-video content, but I'm not sure what that's about exactly. Oh, that's great. I just wanted to say I asked a question last time and your answer helped me a lot, so thank you. That is great. That's always the goal. We love helping. That's what we like to do. Great. Registered for Kink Fest, planning to take a class on negotiating and the importance of failure. Yes, literally every class at the Kink Fest event this year is like, oh, I want to take that. Like, there's very few of the classes where I'm like, oh, I could skip that. They all sound great. So really, really good lineup. Super excited for everything, and hopefully I'll be able to go to as much of it as possible. Are those bondage classes meeting physically? I didn't catch if you said. I don't know what bondage classes you're talking about. Did I mention bondage classes? No, none of these they're all virtual events. If you're talking about the conferences, I'm only recommending virtual events at this time. I do not plan on endorsing any physical events for the time being. Classes, parties, munches or otherwise. Maybe munches if they are outdoors, socially distanced, and you have to have your vaccination. That I would potentially be okay with, but that's about where my risk profile is for the minute. Because contact tracing and anonymity and privacy do not go together, unfortunately. So that's really, other than spreading COVID itself, which is obviously not something that we want to do, it's also a matter of maintaining privacy and, not having a news headline that says, crazy BDSM sex party, new hotspot for COVID outbreak. I'd like to avoid that. And I think we all should, really. I think that's pretty good. I'm the one that had the Dom drop question last stream. I feel a lot better. But how do I prevent it? My friend, that is what aftercare is for. For you as a Dom. If you have, and it's like at some point, you can't always prevent the worst of it. It really depends on your individual psychology, your own neurotransmitters up in your brain doing their own thing. But aftercare is how you prevent drop. Aftercare is different for everybody. That could be cuddling, taking a nap, a shower. I have tons of videos where I've talked about it. And, one of the processes that I think is really important about discovering yourself in BDSM is taking the time to learn about yourself and learn what restores you and heals you after a scene and what doesn't work as well. Just because something doesn't work for you doesn't mean it was a failure. It just means now you know stuff that doesn't work as well, and that's also important information. So if you take time to take care of yourself and rest your body, make sure you're getting your liquids, you're getting enough sleep, all of that can really affect it as well, because you are literally essentially and I'm not sure this is more for subspace, but I'm fairly confident this is also true to some extent for dom drop and top drop as well. Like you're kind of, your body is like trying to flush out like all of those like excess, like the adrenaline, everything else that happens. Like your body has to like flush that out. And if you're not sleeping, if you're not drinking enough water, if you're not hydrating and eating properly, it's going to take longer for your body to do that efficiently than if you were making sure to take time for sleep and eating well and drinking, just because it's like your body needs fuel. If you're not giving your body fuel and that time to restore, then that's going to have negative consequences. And people underestimate that. People underestimate the importance of sleep and rest and just really simple stuff when it comes to aftercare, but it really does make a difference. And I'm not just talking about what immediately happens after a scene, although like cuddles, taking a nap, watching a movie together, those all really work well. Aftercare can go on for the whole rest of the day after the scene. And it could also be the little things you do for the couple of days after the scene is done, depending on what you're getting up to. So lots of variants, lots of things to try out and see what works for you. But those are sort of the broad brush general guidelines. So yeah, speaking of which, I am thirsty and my water bottle is empty. So give me a quick second, y'all. I think I'm gonna grab the art, and I am also gonna grab some water. So give me like 2 minutes. Continue to ask questions. I will get to them, and we'll go from there. All right. And we're back. Oh, somebody left a super chat. Sneaky donation. I saw that. It was not sneaky. I saw it. Okay. So, here. My chair moved. There we go. Better. Okay. So I have the art. I don't think there's anything in here that's incriminating. I don't know why that word comes to mind. I also have like a ton of business cards. So if I can find the person that goes with what art, I will let you know. I will tell you right off the bat, this person is one of my favorite artists. There will be nude people in this, by the way. Nuasha Gamishi, I think. Also, completely random topic. I'm obsessed with these. Does anybody know what these are? I think this is like halfa or something. It's Hebrew. I can't pronounce it. Anyways, it's good. It's vegan. I got some of these from Amazon. If somebody can teach me how to pronounce these in the correct way, I would be grateful. They're very good, and I like them. And there are small, tiny treats, which I like in it. I can't explain it. Okay, they're a little bit annoying to get open though without like crushing them. I thought I would put something in my mouth. Bandit cheese dollars. Also, what do you recommend as a starting point for finding your aftercare needs before you play for the first time? That was a wonderful question. Let me finish eating this first. Somebody just said hey really loudly. I don't know what that means. But hello. Of course. Trying to silently move my microphone so I can see everything. Okay. This should be good. I don't know. What am I doing? I'm always making my own life harder, and I don't know why. Okay. Yes, right as I eat. Every time. Every time. Halva? Bandit. What are we doing? Okay. So the big first piece of art that I have, Bandit's collar's on the ground now, is a friend actually got me this, I think for my birthday last year. Oh, here we got all the information on the back. This is from retromortis.com. And it's girl in a gas mask. I think this is really cool. Obviously signed. Very, very cool. I have a couple of like little spots that have sort of, I think I'm just near a part of the building that has lots of structural support, I guess I'd say. So I have like little narrow bits where I could probably put this. And it's kind of interesting because like the latex is almost, I don't know if you guys can really see it, but like the latex is almost like connected into her skin, like it's like a living thing. I don't know. I thought it was cool. Like the shoes. I think the shoes are my favorite part of this whole deal. So that's like, this is like the big piece of art. I am vegan. That is correct. Falling. Okay. Not falling. This is my giant thing of art to go through. And there's stickers and stuff in here too. I got a lot of things. I have like a whole little thing of stickers. Yeah. Let me see here. So, how do I want to do this? I got this from a friend. I mean, can't you see the resemblance, everyone? We're basically identical. So, yes, of course. Have to have the Powerpuff Girls. And more business cards. These, gosh, I got so much stuff from this artist at Emerald City Comic Con. I think I went there like 3 times, and I was like, I need to restrain myself from actually buying stuff from you. So, how do I want to, oh my god, I forgot I bought these. These are my favorite. These are my favorite in the whole planet. Look at the beautiful dogs. I want to have a water bottle that's just like covered in dog stickers. That's my goal, to be honest, is just water bottle dog stickers. I would own 10 of those if I could. That is from Cat Coco Nut. CATCOCONUT. Cat Coco Nut. There you go. Shout out. I have a bunch of like little pieces of art. This is like one of my favorite artists. This is from hazel-arch.net, and I'll show you guys the back. You guys can check out the website. So these are 2 of my other pieces. This is like, honestly, if I could get like a full like really really big piece of this, I absolutely would. This is just like, there's something about like the emotion of this piece, the feeling of this piece that I'm like, yeah. Oh, thank you, Autumn is a Witch. I really catch your streams because it's later on the East Coast and I work till like 10 p.m. Technically, work is running. Anyways, this is for you in the pup arena. Thank you so much, Autumn. All right, we're like halfway to Bandit getting a yak stick. So Bandit, thanks you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you could make it as well. So these ones are both from Hazel Art. Just go ahead and show you guys the back. Obviously not sponsored by any of these people. I like sharing cool art and I thought people would like it. So these are some of my favorite pieces. There's something about them I just find is really cool. I don't know, these are also from Hazel Arch, but I can't quite remember where I got these from. But these ones are also, I think these ones I want to put on that wall, like above the lamp. I think, do I have a third? I have a third piece. Oh, yeah, I have two other pieces from this person. I thought I did. Okay. So, I do have other pieces from this person. And unfortunately, I don't see, Audkosh. So, Audkoch. I'm like, Aud, so it must be German, I suppose? Something like that. So, I have these two pieces. I kind of want to do them like, I can't quite fit them all on the screen, but something like this, or maybe like this, you know? I think that they just look really, really cool. I'm basically into anything that involves women. That's my art preference, the female form. That's pretty much it. Thank you, Michael. I love the sticker. All right. Jumping in the air joyfully, saying yippee. Thank you so much. Yes. Okay. So, other two pieces of art from this person, and then I guess I'll take a little pause, and I guess I'm just gonna intersperse the art. This is the idea I randomly have right now. We're gonna take questions and talk about art, and we're gonna go between the two as I feel like. So these are the other two pieces from the same person, obviously. This one is really, really cool. I love this. It's kind of like, it's superhero-y, it's fantasy. It kind of gives me like Scarlet Witch vibes, but it's not Scarlet Witch. It's really cool. It's just super, super cool. Oh no, do I have a thing on it? Did I get a thing on it? No. There's something on it. I mean, these have been in storage for like 3 years, so I shouldn't be that surprised. But it's not even noticeable. It's fine. You guys probably can't even tell that anything is on there. There's like a little dot like there, which is sad. I bet if I was a little bit more diligent, I could probably just get it off. But the other thing that I have, which I believe certain members of the audience will enjoy, is I have this one of family Corvidae. So obviously we have the American crow, the common raven, the Eurasian? Why did I say Eurasian? Eurasian magpie, the blue jay, western jackdaw, and the Steller's jay, which I could have sworn that Steller's jay was spelled Steellar. I'm gonna have to Google that because I have no. Oh my god, I've been saying it wrong in my head the whole time. It is two E's. All right, the more you know. Thanks, poster. Wow, so educational. Look at that. Look at that value, the education. So there we go. I thought this would be good, like a living room piece, maybe, or like a bathroom. I think it could be good in the bathroom because it's just like birds, not offensive, not involving nude ladies at all. So there you go. All right, let's answer some questions. Let's answer some questiones. I don't know if I have a video where I've strictly talked about spanking on its own. I definitely have talked about spanking in videos though, like in impact play or anatomy for impact play or things like that. I have definitely talked about it in that capacity, but I don't think I have a standalone video on it unless I've forgotten, in which case I apologize. I do make quite a number of videos and I am prone to forgetting subject occasionally. Can we recommend other YouTubers for you to discuss with? Sure. Why not? And I mean, like, I'm not gonna obviously collab with any random person. I do have standards, and I like to know people before I just have them on my platform. But yeah, why not? I'm not a debater or anything. I'm not gonna debate anybody on a live stream. But sure, go for it. How did Munches get that name? Sounds like kind of an odd name in general. The story is a little bit fuzzy in my head. I want to say they started in California, and they started at like a burger place, like just a little burger shop. I want to say the burger place was named like Munchies or something, or like a similar name, and that's sort of where it came from. But it came from the idea of like, oh, you're grabbing a quick bite, getting something to munch on, and you're chatting with people at the same time. Like, that's sort of the general concept. I think it's cute. I like it. Oh, spanking fetishes? I mean, I guess I'd have to talk about fetishes in general, which is sort of like distinct from BDSM. There are fetishes in the BDSM world, but like fetishists are sort of like there's a Venn diagram of people who are fetishists and people who are into BDSM, and there is an overlap, but not everybody that has a fetish sort of identifies as being part of the BDSM experience, let's say. Is mayonnaise an instrument? Yeah, you can ask this again on the next stream. Yeah, always feel free to ask me if mayonnaise is an instrument. That's fine. The answer is yes, by the way. Mayonnaise is an instrument. Okay. Oh, gosh. I lost where I was in the chat. Come back to me. What do you think is better for a newbie bottom, a taster scene or a taster booth? These are recommended to me. So, like, in the sense that, let's say a taster scene is actually negotiating a full-on scene with somebody, whereas a taster booth is like the kink equivalent of going on a carnival ride. I like taster booths as a way of trying new experiences in kink, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend them as your first ever kink experience ever, doing them. I think watching, like going to an event that has taster options and going to watch the different BDSM play happening, I think can be really educational. But the problem I would see with doing a taster booth as your first ever BDSM experience is that if you're doing it as your first ever time, right, and you don't know anything about what to do for aftercare, you don't know anything like how BDSM is going to affect you mentally, emotionally, etc., you might have a really like pronounced, strong, maybe even negative reaction to even just a really small scene. And because of the way that those booths are set up, they're not generally designed for like the person doing them to like take time for like 2 hours of aftercare for like a 2-minute long scene, which is totally like no judgment if you need that. Like, shit can get real fast. But I don't think it necessarily can create the ideal experience for like somebody who's brand new to kink and doesn't have any point of reference for how they react, what they need, etc., communication, all of that good stuff. I would recommend it for trying new things in general. I think it is probably better to go through the process of negotiating a small scene with somebody that you trust in a public place, because then you're going to have that dedicated time, one, for negotiation in general, really making sure you're having the exact experience you want to have, and that you're going to have as much time as you negotiate for that you want to make sure is reserved for things like aftercare, communication after the scene, making sure you have their contact information for later. All that stuff, I think, can create a better environment for a new person. Now, I don't think either one of them is bad. I don't even think doing BDSM for the first time, kind of doing a taster event is bad. I would just caution, the thing that you might not be aware of when you're thinking about making that choice is, you could do, let's say, a taster scene of trying out sensory deprivation, right? And so you have, earplugs in and a hood on and a gag and all these other things, right? That can get really overwhelming really quickly. And if you're not prepared for that, because you've never done anything before, you don't know how to handle it, you panic, you freak out, like that's going to be the outcome from that, I think, could end up being worse if it was in a more controlled environment where you had the time to have, maybe hours and hours, days and days of negotiation with one top for one seat instead of a whole night with a bunch of people. Now, obviously, negotiations, safe words, all that happens at taster events, right? But it's very minimal. It's very, very minimal in terms of individual negotiation, generally speaking. And so that's why I recommend kind of doing the individual pre-planned scene instead of a taster event. But they can both be good options. They can both be good options for sure. Just kind of be aware of the fact that there could be sort of an additional emotional mental risk from going the route of a taster situation instead. FetLife is a garbage fire, but it has its uses. Exactly. That is my review of FetLife in 20 words or less. It's garbage, but we still need it. It's our garbage, okay? It's our trash. How can a Dom mentally exercise being a Dom without equipment or partner? Oh, this is a great question because I get this a lot from the other perspective, which is like, how can the submissive be submissive without a Dom? I feel like that's much easier because it's like, you can train yourself, set up rules for yourself, keep yourself to a schedule, again, sort of the whole stuff I talked about in the self-collaring video. I think practicing dominance, I think, can be a little bit more difficult, but the thing that comes to mind for me, not being a Dom that way. So, if other people in the chat have ideas about this or ways that they do this, would love to hear y'all's examples because I'm sure you guys have tons of great ideas. But what I would be thinking about is like, what are sort of the core like values of dominance, right? What makes you feel like your dominant self, right? I think confidence, carrying yourself with pride, having integrity, being honest. And I think I know those are really vague, like motivational poster words where it's like integrity and like a picture of a blue whale. Like, I know those are really vague, but I do think that those are, if you can practice, walking with authority, sitting up straight, speaking with confidence, and I think that can really do a lot to sort of carry over your like Dom side into more of an everyday life thing. I think also in terms of mentally exercising being a Dom, I don't actually know exactly what that phrasing means. It could maybe mean something else I'm not thinking of, but I think it's just about having confidence and being assertive and acting in a way that's has integrity and honesty and being a leader, whether that be in your friend group, at work, etc. Taking charge and picking up the slack from other people. I think is something you can do for that. In terms of like maybe like more like little symbols or stuff, kind of geared towards your dominance. Think about like kind of like what colors kind of give you power and make you feel most confident in yourself. A lot of people it's black. Red's also really popular in BDSM. Could be green, could be blue. Whatever it is that makes you feel good about yourself and feel confident. Wearing things that have that color scheme. And yeah, I think there's lots of options. I guess I'm not totally confident that I know what mentally exercise means. So I'm going to leave it there. And then if I'm wrong, I will re-answer it and maybe more of the way that you meant. But hopefully that's a good starting point for you. I just saw Forever, the 2014 series. Never heard that before, so no point of reference for me. Episode 8, which has a surprisingly positive message about kink for a crime series. Do you know any other TV series with messages like that? Oh, with a positive message about kink. There's kind of a funny scene in Community where they like accidentally discover like a sex dungeon at a Halloween party. And like, the funny part about it isn't necessarily that like BDSM is weird, but like one of the characters is very ignorant about BDSM and is like, "Oh, cool, a swing set." Like, they don't even really register what it is at first. And so like I think that's kind of funny and nice. But other than that, nothing really comes to mind as like a strong, like totally positive message in a TV series. However, this isn't exactly positive, but it is something that I saw recently. So I've been trying Friends because I have a family member that really likes Friends, and I've never seen it. I've had the theme song like literally memorized since birth, since it came out the year I was born, and my mom would have it on, and I don't remember any of the content about the show. I loved the theme song. I was like, of course I was a little kid, right? I was like 4 or 5. So I remember the theme song. I thought the water fountain was cool. I was like, oh, cool. I want to dance. When I'm 20, I want to dance with my friends in in a water fountain. That sounds cool. But anyways, I didn't remember any of the content of the show at all. And now I'm watching it. I'm like really surprised it was on in my house. but but anyways, in the first season, I want to say it's episode 6. There's a bit where Chandler goes on a date with a woman that already has a husband and a boyfriend, and they never call it poly. You know, it's really just kind of, it's, you know, it's very much like the C plot of the episode. It doesn't really get a lot of attention, but it was still interesting to me that they even included that. And of course, they had a whole debate. Like the girls, like I think Monica was like, "How could you date a woman like that?" And like all the guys are like, "This is every guy's fantasy. All of the fun, none of the responsibility. She already has another boyfriend." You know, it's like, oh god, just roll my eyes in the back of my head. But like that was like, even, you know, 1994, that feels like it was pretty progressive. You know, even if they never called it polyamory, still the idea of like a consensual, you know, open multi-partner relationship. Now, of course, they don't do the best job of it because it's like he finds out while he's on the date that like she already has a husband, and it's not until later that he finds out she also has another boyfriend too. So it's like, disclosure wasn't the best, but some kind of representation. And I thought they, you know, they did it more tastefully than many others have attempted to do and failed at. So what is your favorite breakfast? I like breakfast food, but I don't really eat in the morning. I eat now. So I don't really eat like in like the morning time, but I like waffles. Probably the thing I have the most often, even if it's not my favorite, is there's like the Kite Hill Greek style vegan yogurt, and I like that because it's high protein, and the texture of it is like really thick, and I like thick custardy yogurt. Not necessarily Greek yogurt, but like custard, like thick yogurt. Like Yoplait used to make this custard yogurt. That was my favorite when I was a kid. So good. They haven't made it for years and years and years. I don't even know they make fucking Yoplait anymore. Is that still a brand? Have they been just pushed out of the market? I have no idea. But suffice to say, that I have that with like berries and like granola and stuff like fairly often. But probably my favorite, like my favorite breakfast food that I have regularly is waffles or pancakes. I like waffles or pancakes. I probably, if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick pancakes. And this is my theory. I think that people that like cake like pancakes, and I think people that like pie like waffles. Prove me wrong. House of Ghosts? Oh, House of Gore, maybe? Is that what you mean? House of Gore? Yeah, I guess that could be. Yeah, they definitely, yeah, they probably did that in a book somewhere. Ooh, okay, great question. Any advice for having a DS relationship with your best friend? I've been struggling with the lines getting blurred. I'm worried about messing up while doming and it affecting our friendship. I have 2 video recommendations for you. If you haven't seen them yet, if you already have, I apologize, this is redundant, but I have one video where I talk about platonic BDSM. So I know that one, for some weird reason, like just isn't suggested to people, but I'm really proud of that video. So if you look at my video called Platonic BDSM, I talk about doing BDSM with your friends in that one and why you might make that choice versus a romantic or sexual relationship. And I also talk about catching feels. I have a video that's like what to do when you catch the feels or something in a BDSM relationship. So I can't tell if you're saying that it's like the lines are blurring into like romantic and sexual attachment with a friend, or if it's like the friendship and BDSM lines are blurring. But those 2 videos have You know, it's like, 45 minutes of advice between those two, and hopefully that kind of helps point you in the right direction. I think, there's sort of, I guess, two schools of thought about this depending on where you fall in, like, honestly, strict hierarchical polyamory or like relationship anarchy spectrum. For example, I personally, for me, the way I construct my relationships is I like having like fluidity to my relationships, whether that be friends, romantic, BDSM, etc. I don't worry too much about putting specific boxed labels on my interactions with people because inevitably those relationships change over time. And I want them to be able to grow organically and honestly. And if I'm trying really hard to get that relationship to just stay in a particular box, or more accurately, not move into a particular box, I find that strains the relationship in a way that's negative when the movement towards something else could be positive for both parties involved. So I like had very much have a philosophy of like trying to be fluid, and if your relationship is moving in a direction where it's no longer just friendship, I think the main thing that you should always be is honest. And that's hard, obviously, because I'm sure that you're worried about losing the BDSM, losing your friendship. But, if your partner doesn't know what's going on in your head, they don't know what's going on in your head. And I think if you're developing maybe unwanted feelings or it's moving in a different direction that may not be aware of, like, I think in order to kind of continue to give fully informed consent about the nature of your relationship, they have to know what's going on. And so that includes updating them like, hey, I'm having these feelings and this is what's going on. And I want to make sure that you're up to date about that. How do you feel? And you can kind of check in and see where they're at. Are they going in a similar direction? Are they very much like happy being in the friend area? Whatever else. Make sure that you're staying up to date. And then if you're really struggling with having that sense of boundaries and having the lines blurred, I think it's worth sitting down and having a conversation about how to make those lines more solid. If you want them to be more solid between the BDSM and your friendship, maybe that means kind of deprioritizing the BDSM and having more time together as just friends, or identifying specific activities that are causing you to feel like those lines are blurred, or stepping back from a certain amount or type of power exchange, or whatever else it is. I don't know your exact situation and what you might be doing that's causing this. Those are just some ideas. So hopefully that helps. Okay, we have a super chat from Utmost Secrecy. Thank you so much. I do not see a chat message associated with it, but thank you very much. We are $10 away from Bandit getting a yak stick. So if you want to see Bandit go to heaven eating yak cheese, $10 more, okay? Okay, moving on to more art. Let us do more art. Oh, I remember this one. See, I'm kind of like getting like major. Oh, I forgot. I have Jessica Jones art in here. So, more arts. Here, how can I do this? This is also from Hazel Arch, as I'm sure you guys can see from the art style, right? This is so cool. Like, just something about, like, just, can you guys get the emotions from this? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Do I just sound crazy? Like, does that not look cool? Like, it's like the combination of sort of the natural and the organic with sort of like it almost. I get like Blade Runner vibes. I don't know. I get like weird Blade Runner, like science fiction fantasy vibes. I don't know. It's really really cool. Really really love Hazel Arch. I should probably check and see what they're doing now art wise, because it's been a hot minute since I've checked their website. Not that I need more art, but could still happen. Of course. Gosh, you guys, this is how I know I got this at Rebel City Comic Con. So, of course, Jessica Jones and Daredevil. Those were great shows on Netflix. Did anybody watch those? Those were fantastic. So, I have these art prints. I don't know where I'd put these exactly. I like them. And they were good TV shows, and they're good characters, and no name, no information about the artist on the backs of these, unfortunately. But I did get these at Emerald City Comic Con. Okay, thank you so much. All right, we're getting Bandit the cheese. Bandit is getting the cheese. All right, honey, you don't even know what's gonna happen. You don't even know. You're gonna be like, what's going on? for the audience, future reference, these aren't just any yak chews. These are churros. These are dog churros. And they are for dogs of all sizes, soft chew density. And let's see, what do we got? We got any cool facts? Any cool facts here? I remember, what is this, like a particular flavor? I think this is just like original flavor. Lactose free, easily digestible, no artificial colors, no binding agents. Don't know what those are. No animal parts, soy, grain, or corn. So, not intended for human consumption. So, other pet players, these are not real churros. Do not consume these. These are not for aminals. But, yeah. There we go. All right. You want to come up, honey? I mean, I don't even know if you're actually going to like these or not. I probably should have. Sometimes I like to try, new things every once in a while, make the Bandit life exciting. She really likes beef cheeks. Those are her favorite. Hi, honey. Want to come up? Come up. Good girl. Yeah, come on. Good girl. Good girl. She's going to probably do what she normally does when she gets a treat, and she's somewhere else other than her bed, and she's going to just stare and be like, does that smell good? Do we want it? Oh, yeah. Do we want it, honey? I really, don't know. Do you want to be left alone with it? She gets, nervous around, big, exciting things. She's like, I know, she's looking at, really intensely. Okay. I'm going to let you down with it and let you have private time with your cheese churro. There you go. Do you want it, honey? There you go. Good girl. She's now just going to guard that in her bed for the next 2 hours. But, yeah. I know, that's yours. Yeah. Yeah, that's yours. Good girl. Okay. All right. From me to you, from Bandit. Also, thank you very much, everyone. Okay. More art. I have a bunch of these. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is from Genevieve, I think. Francois somewhere. This is from a French-Canadian artist, I think. Oh, yeah. Genevieve FT and then Francois Beau. So I have some more pin-up kind of art, right? I have a couple of ones like these, but they're in little plastic like this. So I haven't gotten them out yet, but something with a little bit of flavor, a little bit of mood to it, I suppose. I got a couple of, I think this is a series of 3, I think. I don't think there's a name on this one, but this is a ballet dancer as well. There you go. Let's see. What else do I got in here? Oh, this is just a card. Oh yeah, of course, because I'm obsessed with Hazel Arch. I got 2 or 3. Yeah, I got a whole series of sketches that they did at the convention. So I got just some I love pencil sketches. Honestly, are my favorite medium. They're I don't know. I really like them. They're really good. So I got some Hazel Arch sketches. I don't know. I think with the little ones, I might do some kind of big framing. Okay. One last piece, and then back to the usual. This is from, I don't know how to pronounce this. Mikuziel? It's MIKEUZIEL.com. This one's also really cool. It's just very, very simple. This one also might be good somewhere in this room, I think. This is also really cool. So I'm gonna put the here you go. There's the artist. All right. Bandit is enjoying the beef, not the beef cheese. Do we like the cheese? Be very careful not to disturb her while she's eating, because she will just stare at me and stop eating stuff. All right. more questions. Let's do it. Let's do it. Question for everyone. Feel free to comment, Evie. Do y'all personally feel like you could be in a successful long-term relationship with someone vanilla? So, and that was air quotes not by me, air quotes included in the question. You know, I've thought a lot about this over the years because I am poly, and so, you know, there have been scenarios where like I guess I don't know, I've had opportunities to be in relationships with people that are vanilla, and I find with the problem that I've run into is that vanilla people tend to be much more deeply uncomfortable with my asexuality spectrumness than BDSM people are. Like BDSM people are like, you know, a lot of them don't not want to have sex, and they don't, but they don't always mix BDSM with their sex, and they're comfortable expressing intimacy in a variety of ways outside of sex. Whereas I think vanilla people, because of the fact they're vanilla, they just, you know, inherently have sort of a narrower set of tools to like express intimacy, and oftentimes things like cuddling and kissing, etc. Like it's all treated as foreplay to like eventually get to sex. And if I just want those things to exist as they are on their own as like valuable, wonderful things, then that's, you know, kind of seems like a letdown. So I would be reluctant, I think, to have a vanilla person as like a soul partner. Like if I only had one partner, I don't think I could be in a partnership with just somebody who was vanilla, because I think there would be too many like intimacy compatibility issues. I more find that what I need is at minimum somebody that's like kink aware and is like comfortable around BDSM, even if they choose not to participate in it because they know it's not their thing. But I think I would always probably need at least like one partnership that had kink elements to it of some variety, just because I know how limiting it is to be in a situation where like the only kind of form of expression is sort of stereotypical vanilla interactions and purposes behind, you know, certain forms of affection, and not really my jam to have that be the case. I wonder if short phone calls in the following days after a scene are both for the dom and the sub. They can be. They can be for either party. They can definitely be for both. You know, some people don't like talking on the phone. You know, texting, email, whatever form of communication you like, voice note, doesn't matter. Having some form of conversation, I think, is really helpful for people. And, you know, whether that be a little short check-in on FetLife, just saying, hey, just want to check in and see how you're doing, you know, that can literally be it. Or you can have a full-on, like, 2-hour long, you know, debrief, you know, 3 days after the scene. It's really whatever you want it to be. And they certainly can be helpful for people, but also some people get really stressed out by phone calls. So, you know, your mileage will vary on that one, but it is certainly something that a lot of people do in one form or another, for sure. This question is for the chat too. If you were to have kids, could you have kinky wall art? If so, how? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I guess it depends on what you mean by kinky wall art. Like, is it like a nude flogging with like a penis in plain view? I feel like that might be crossing a line. But if it's like, I don't know, let's say for example, it's like this, right? For example, I might put that one in the parents' bathroom of the walk-in closet. You know, like something like that. I think it also depends on the age of the kids. Like, let's say if there were 13-year-old boys in the house, I think that's very different from having an infant, because like an infant's not going to remember what's on the walls in your bedroom when they're 2 months old. You know, that's probably fine. But like if you have teenage boys, that might be a little bit of a different story. So I think that's definitely very much an individual parenting question, and I'm not sure what the right answer is, because you know what, no matter what you choose, your kids will be screwed up somehow. That's pretty much it. that the choice is like, ew, how about I don't have kids if that's what you want? I love that the choice is like, I would have kids, but like I gotta have my kinky art. I'm sure that's not the decision people are making. I'm I'm sure that's not, but everyone has different preferences, I suppose. Oh yeah, of course. Like you can always have like a lot of parents have like rooms in the house that are like the parent only rooms that stay locked. I guess you could do something like that. I don't know. I don't know. Have you watched Bridgerton? I have not watched Bridgerton. Is it good? Is it bad? Should I watch it? Should I avoid it? What are our opinions about Bridgerton? Is it worth seeing? What's the color changing light thing you have? It's a color changing light thing. Pretty much that's what it is. They're called curtain lights. There's about 1,000,000 of them on Amazon. Super easy to find. You're referring to the lights. The lamp is just a color changing light bulbs. Easy to get on Amazon. Not expensive at all. Your art preferences are making your Am I Lesbian comedy fit even funnier. I mean, true. True, 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 true. Who even knows? I always thought I just love painting the female Norp. No, no, it's just a huge queer. I mean, I will let other people put labels on me. I'm perfectly fine with me just being a question mark. That's just fine. The bird one, I too love the bird one. Okay. Da, 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 da. Wow, somebody's comment literally got deleted because they said the word sex work. So great job, YouTube. Thanks. Really, really cultivating that spam filter there. Okay. Let me find out. Where were we in the chat? I feel like I'm missing a lot of questions. Okay. Okay, Bridgerton. Me being a big fat lesbian. Oh God, I don't even know if I should even touch this question, but I will say it out loud, just because it was something. Yes. Oh my God, New Orleans has a big kink scene. So yes, there are plenty of there. New Orleans has plenty of BDSM stuff going on. I literally went there and like accidentally went to a kinky burlesque show. So it's they got stuff there for sure. Uh, would you say it's a fetish to prefer a specific race? I hear this a lot. I think essentializing people based on their skin color or other non changeable physical feature is probably not a great thing to do. I'm not even sure like how to say that properly. But like um yeah, it's the problem is like the way you hear this argument online is like neckbeard dudes being like, I'm not racist because I prefer Asian women. And it's like, okay, can we dig down into like why you prefer Asian women? Is it because you have a stereotype that all Asian women are like submissive and docile, but then also down to like do literally anything in bed? Is that why? Do you prefer Latino women because you think that they're spicy and fiery and sexy and boisterous? Like, why do you prefer just races of people in general? Why is that? And I think if it's based on stereotypes, whether they be positive stereotypes or harmful ones, I think I don't know if calling it a fetish is correct so much as it is like just you have to admit you're having a little bit of like a racist tendency there, I think, at some point. And make of that what you will. Call me an SJW. I think if you have a preference for a race based on stereotypes, rather than individual people as individual people, just being folks you're attracted to, there is something going on there psychologically that you're probably not really willing to address. Yeah, I think labeling that as a fetish is perhaps doing a disservice to the larger non-racist fetish community. Although the fetish community certainly has its own issues involving consent and objectification and all those sorts of things. So not that they're exempt from any sort of critique as well, but perhaps slightly different issues. Okay, I know you've mentioned Katiosaurus a few times. I have no idea who this person is. So I would have to watch their content before I just agree to do a collab. That's like bare minimum. And then I'd have to have a conversation with them. I generally do not just randomly do collaborations with people I don't know, because that is how you accidentally platform people that have like negative opinions that you would not want to have on a platform. Honest question. Should the Martians abduct Marilyn Manson and administer a decade's worth of abuse and harsh treatment? I don't know. I mean, I don't believe in the death penalty, so, like, obviously not that. Do the Martians have, like, a court of law that they would use for this system? Or does the punishment just start immediately? Do the Martians have a concept of a justice system? I mean, okay, I think I could agree to that if he was found guilty in a trial and the verdict was rendered with the Martian punishment as the outcome of the punishment, I guess, for what he did. I think I'd be fine with that. That would probably be fine. Or just edit his brain to be fixed. That if Martians have the technology to do that, which I guess we're assuming they can do that. Yeah, if they could fix his brain to not be an abuser, great. I'd love that treatment for anybody. Anybody that can be reformed, I'd like to reform them. I do not have confidence that Marilyn Manson, if he's in fact guilty of the things he's accused of, even half the things that he's accused of, I don't necessarily know how capable or like willing he is to reform himself. So there you go. Do you have any tattoos? No, I don't, because I have a commitment problem. That's really the answer. Is I've not found any designs for a tattoo that I've been convinced to do on a scale that would be worth it being permanent and unchangeable. I've definitely had lots of ideas for tattoos I would like, but never enough to where I'm like, yeah, I want that on my body literally forever, you know? I know that tattoo cover-ups and laser tattoo removal are things. I do not want to count on that as a reason for doing something. I do not want to have that, be part of my plan there, you know. Oh god, I have never watched live action remakes of SpongeBob. I had no idea that was the thing until you mentioned it to me, and I'm intrigued and horrified in equal measure. Apparently we're putting poggers in the chat if somebody's a kitten. Oh my gosh, first time ever using poggers in my chat. I feel like I've really stepped up my stream game now. Thank you everyone. Okay, more art. Let's do more art. I've decided. Okay, trigger warning for blood. There's gonna be art that involves blood. I guess one of the first things I showed also involved blood. So, my bad. Whoops. Didn't warn people about that. No, I am not getting a live, love, spank, lower back tattoo. How dare you? That's just offensive. I can't believe you super chatted that to me. I hope the $5 is worth it. Okay, these are my favorite. These are everything that I want to be. This is everything I aspire to be in my life. Here. So, obviously, I love the color scheme, right? So good. This one, the werewolf one, or I guess it's Cerberus actually. The Cerberus one. Look at that. Cool. And then just, sometimes you bathe in blood. That's what you do. I love it. It's so great. These are great. And these ones do have a little squiggly signature on them. But I do not know the actual artist. And I love these, and they are my favorite. Could you remind me of the title of the book with the woman fighting cancer? Oh, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks? Is that the book you're thinking of? That one's an intense read, just FYI. Oh, here's more pinup art. By the way, here's more pinup art. So we have one that's I get alien vibes from this, but it's not. It's not actually from the movie Alien. This one is from Subtastic, who I also really enjoy. They mostly draw cute little birds, but they also draw pinup demon girls. So there you go. This is from I think this is from like an Inktober. It's from like an Inktober thing. And then this one, I think this is more Genevieve art. Sorry, I'm just like revealing my lesbianism to everyone on the planet. Okay, this is more Genevieve art. Okay, I warned you. There's nude ladies in this. I gave you a warning. There's nude ladies. There you go. Nude lady warning complete. Let me see. What else? I have like there's a bunch of stickers. More gay shit. Okay. This is the last big thing. It's the last big thing of art. Actually there's a bunch of stuff in here. How do I do this? Okay. Oh, these are also God. Everything in here is my favorite. I keep remembering things that are my favorite. This shit is my favorite. This I want to. This is from the Lisabelle. So TheLisabelle. Oh, 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 I want this in my house forever. These are so cool. I know there's nipples. YouTube, take down my video. I don't give a shit. How dare you? How dare you? That'd be so cool. Don't we love it? Okay, here, let me rearrange them so you guys can see some of the other ones on top. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Amazing. Amazing. All right. And last big piece of art. Actually, this might be two in here. No, this is just one. This is just one. Okay, this is also from the Lisabelle. This one is some still life of rope bondage things happening. So, here you go. Da-da-da. This might actually be upside down. I'm going to put it around that way. I think this is the way it's supposed to go. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, that's my art collection. I don't think there's a single man in any of these drawings, and that's the way that I like it. No men. Sorry, men. Not in my art collection. Come back next time. Better luck. Better luck next time. All right. Eventually, I'm going to have to reorganize this. But to be honest, my real favorite is the dog stickers. So, try to compete with that. I dare you. All right, that's my art collection. Are you glad? Yes, I definitely. I mean, I have like there's a ton of wall space in here, so I can put stuff on that wall. I can put stuff on that wall. I can put stuff on the wall that you guys can't see at all. Secret hidden art. Secret hidden art that no but me can see. So lots of options for art. I also have a living room and kitchen area. So there you go. That's what it is. No, wait, I lied. Daredevil. He's the one guy in the art collection, so never mind. But he's a superhero, so that doesn't count. No random men. No random unnamed men in my art collection. That counts. Oh, gosh. Okay. Back to questions. We got 25 minutes left for questions. Not sure how much the delay is. So if you have questions, you haven't asked them yet, now is the time. Now is the time. Yeah, Dr. Doe collab. Love to work with Dr. Doe. Would love to work with PupAmp and What's the Safe Word Again. When travel is available, that would be great. But, yeah. Good times all around. Because I trust Dr. Doe. And I don't know Dr. Doe, but, I know of Dr. Doe. And, I think the licensed sexologist part kind of speaks for itself in terms of intellectual rigor and reputation there. Alright, trying to get back to where I was with Does Evie eat breakfast food as midnight snacks? Yes, I do. I literally sometimes I'm hungry at like 11:30 at night, and I'm like, oh, let's put a waffle in the toaster. That's my energy. I don't know what that means about me. I don't know what that says about me or my zodiac sign or whatever. But I like having breakfast food as midnight snacks. Okay, it's the best. It's great. Oh, thank you, Lassie. By the way, yes, it works. I have voice to text on for if you go through Streamlabs instead of YouTube. It will not only will it contribute to our bar up there, but it will also do voice to text. So think about that. Also, I get to keep 100% of the revenue instead of only 70% like YouTube super chats. So thanks, YouTube. Just taking 30% of my money for no reason. 30% of y'all's money for no reason, for that matter. Jesus. For doing nothing. Hosting a platform. Thanks. Doing such great work, YouTube. Hi, Evie. I have seen your videos on being ace in the BDSM community, and I know you speak from time to time on classes and seminars. Have you thought of making a space at cons for ace kinksters? Yes, I was supposed to teach a class on asexuality and BDSM at a convention last year that was canceled because of COVID, and I would love to do that again. I would love to have, more asexual-oriented spaces in the BDSM world, more specifically, as opposed to sort of the general acceptance of ace people in kink. But I don't know when that would be for the future, when that would even be possible. But sure, yeah. Tried to facilitate it, wanted to make it happen. Did not happen. COVID. That's really it. You prefer pies and pancakes? That's perfectly acceptable. That's great. Pie and pancake. Okay, my theory is wrong, but you know what? That's why we have theories. So that way we can test them in reality. Thank you. Did you answer the question about fixing an aftercare kit before your first session? I don't know about an aftercare kit. I'm also not sure about fixing. But I did talk about how to figure out what your aftercare needs are before a scene. I'm not sure about a kit in particular. I have a really old video about that, though. That was like first 10 Evie Lupine videos. I don't even know if it's still up, actually. I think it is. I think I actually reacted to that like a couple of months ago. I think I actually did a reaction to that, so it must still be up because I reacted to it. If I wanted to talk about waffles, I would go to a Food Network chat. Fair enough. Fair enough. I can't help when people ask me. People want to know about waffles. Okay? Some of the people want to know about waffles. If you don't want to know about waffles, that's fine. That's your prerogative, my dude. Oh goodness, you guys are great. What is your take on people? Oh, this question. This is I have in the FAQ, but it's an ongoing theme. What is your take on people who think DDLG is pedophilic? I've gotten in many arguments about it with them. What part of it's between consenting adults do they not understand? I mean, look, I think you already got the answer there. People that don't want to understand things aren't going to understand them, no matter how hard you wish that they would. It's like the same like any other really like emotionally charged argument. People really just dig their heels in, and they're really not open to honestly listening and changing their ideas. That could literally be anything from, as I don't know, important, ongoing as like abortion, right? Some people are always going to be pro-abortion. Some people are always going to be, pro-choice. Other people literally believe it's baby murder, and nothing you tell them is ever going to change their mind because it's baby murder. And same people who think that DDLG is pedophilia, they think is this really immoral, awful, horrible thing because pedophilia is awful and horrible and immoral. And so clearly anything associated with that must not be tolerated under any circumstances. They do not care what people actually say that it's like. And so honestly, I really would not waste your time dealing with people because most of the time they're 15-year-olds on Twitter. And so their opinion, honestly, doesn't really matter to this conversation because they aren't involved in the BDSM community. They're not making the rules for anybody else. And they can have their hateful little opinions on their own. And you do not have to harm yourself by trying to involve yourself in that conversation because nobody in that scenario is open to changing their minds or listening with an open heart. And if they are, they wouldn't be so vitriolic and hateful about it, honestly. So that's my 2 cents on that. I would recommend not getting sucked into arguments with people like that because no matter what you tell them, they don't care. They don't care if it's between consenting adults. They don't care about the motivations behind it. They don't care about anything with anyone that actually does it. They just think, have pigtails, pedophilia. And it's like, God damn it. Like, if you're gonna, here's my opinion on this, is like, we have, consenting adults that thoughtfully and purposely negotiate for something that is an intimate act between the two of them, and they generally do it in the privacy of their own home, occasionally in more quasi-public places like social media. But I feel like that's an infinitely smaller problem if your actual concern is the sexualization of minors is the actual, I don't know, it's not, I have an actual microphone, what am I doing? It's very different from the actual active sexualization of minors that happens literally everywhere else in society. Maybe we could critique the music industry, the acting industry, tabloids, the paparazzi. What did I say in the Marilyn Manson Part 2 video, right? Taylor Momsen was barely not a teenager. Technically still a teenager because 18, teen, right? Literally barely an adult, and they're plastering headlines to say Taylor Momsen is acting like a skank. If you're gonna sexualize young people, maybe we should look at that, or God, how many things in just general media and advertisements and everywhere else are just about sexualizing youth anyways. And so I really don't think that if we're genuinely concerned about the impact that has on abuse and child sexual assault, that they're looking in entirely the wrong direction if they actually care about making meaningful change. But again, 15-year-olds on Twitter, not worth arguing with, not worth suffering over. Spend your energy on you, not on people that's not gonna change their mind until they eventually come to their own senses at some point through their own reckoning instead of somebody else, yelling back at them essentially. Anyways, that's my take on that. Oh, thank you, Chris. Yes, it is yak chews. I forget. These are technically the cheaper ones than the full-on, yak cheese. Full-on yak cheese is expensive because it's fucking yak cheese. There's not that much of it on the planet, as it turns out. It's not a typical thing. I'm about to have my first scene-like thing tomorrow. It's over text, but I have no idea how to start. I'm going to be the top and my bottom is going to tie herself up. I have no idea what to do. Sounds like you have not negotiated enough. If you don't know what you're going to do, then you haven't negotiated enough. So I'd recommend either delay the scene or have a conversation between now and tomorrow where you ask, what is it you would like me to do during this scene? Because it's over text and you're tying yourself up. What is my role here? And if you can get clarification, that would be great. I think that would be very, very helpful. How do you keep all of this art? I keep it in a plastic, whatever this is. And then I keep the art individually in cellophane, and then I keep it in a dark place. That's how I keep the art. The end. I do. I have it in a large plastic folder. The boot one, though. Sure. Yeah, it is. Every once in a while, like I get to this point where I'm like looking for questions, but then there's like a waffles versus pancakes debate happening, and I'm like, I'm so happy for you all, but I have no idea what's going on at this point in the chat. I have no idea what's going on at this point in the chat. Oh dear. Okay, I actually do know what's going on, but I am. We only have like 10 minutes left, so I am actively scrolling for questions. Gosh, why why are so many of the chat, like, you guys are sending perfectly fine messages, but for some reason YouTube's like delete. Thanks, YouTube. Definitely anytime somebody uses the word sex, it must be deleted, obviously. I have no idea what this question is. I've been staring at this for 5 seconds, and I'm trying. Maybe if I read it out loud, it'll make sense. Have you ever been so far, even want to do look more alike? Is this an auto? Did a bot write this question? What is this question? I have no idea what that's trying to say. Please help me. If you have been abducted by an alien, please put a 2 in the chat. Let us know if you're all right. Let me see. Yes, best to avoid conversations with people who refuse to believe BDSM is anything but abuse. Oh my god. I literally got this comment earlier today. It wasn't even on one of my Manson videos. It was on my, like, how to spot a fake dom or something. And it was like this capital letter rant about, like, BDSM is abuse. Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, this is this. And that, and it's like, that's why, this is why we can't have nice things. Is because people say shit like that. My god. People just can't get it together. How do you deal with somebody that wants to be a switch, but you're not? Don't do BDSM with that person. Don't be in a monogamous relationship with that person. Come to some kind of agreement where you understand both of your needs aren't going to be equally met in the relationship. That's sort of the long and the short of it. There's going to be a class at Kink Fest, which I think we'll talk about this, which is called Navigating, like, mixed eroticism relationships, which is about, like, ace and allo people and switches and non-switches and low sex drive and high sex drive, all of that stuff. I think that's going to be covered in that class. That could be helpful. My answer is, if your partner needs you to be both dominant and submissive sometimes, and you are only one or neither, do not torture yourself trying to be something that you're not, because it will not serve you in the long run. And do basically, like, the people in the relationship are more important than the relationship. Always, 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 always. And so, if you're both going to suffer because neither one of your needs are going to be met, you're ultimately going to be dissatisfied. Do not trap yourself in that relationship, especially if you're monogamous and you have no other way of getting your needs met outside of that particular pair scenario. Right, a little bit different if you're poly, if things are more fluid, if you're fine with people getting their needs met through BDSM with other people. There's a little bit more openness there. That's a little bit more manageable. But if you're, like, in a close monogamous relationship, either somebody's going to be really unsatisfied, there's going to be resentment, or it's just not going to be sustainable. That's my honest, tough love opinion, but I've seen it happen time and time again, and it's much better to recognize that immediately from the outset versus spending 6 months, a year, 5 years getting married and people ending up being miserable, right? So avoid suffering where it's not necessary, unless you like suffering because it's your kink, in which case I need to phrase my advice better. How would you even do a Squidward live action? Oh, handsome Squidward. Handsome Squidward live action. I mean, Squidward live action in general, but especially that for sure. For sure. What makeup brands do you use? A lot of them. Mostly Viseart for eyeshadow, lots of NYX products, Tarte for foundation. Eyeshadow really from everywhere. My liquid lipsticks are older ones from ColourPop that I'm slowly replacing. Black Moon Cosmetics for a lot of things. And Bellegant Cosmetics for also a lot of other colors as well. The Lizabelle, which is the name I shared earlier, is the person that did the bondage nun art. TheLisabelle. I believe they're on Instagram. I bought this stuff like 2 years ago, so I don't know if they're still around or not. But that was what was on the back of the art. They're also based from the UK, I want to say. So it did take a while for me to get the art because I am obviously not in the UK.
Donated $10 for preaching about communication. Gotta be able to talk and listen.
Yes, true. Communication, good. Communication, good. The end. All right, stream's over. I've said everything I need to say. No, I'm just kidding. We got 10 more minutes. 10. Well, not even 10 more minutes. 7 more minutes. 6 more minutes. Something like that. 6 more minutes. All right. Speed round. Speed question answering time. What if my safe word is waffle? Then be careful about doing BDSM in an IHOP. That would be my advice. Question. Where can I buy knives that are dull enough to use for knife play? Everywhere I go, knives are sharp as fuck, and those babies are not my risk profile right now. Still learning. Good, you know your risk profile? Butter knives? Great. Props. Movie props, theater props, stuff like that. I'm not really that familiar with the theater world. I don't know if they would actually be made out of metal or just very realistic plastic. Also cosplay stuff as well could be good because there's, lots of video games that involve knives and such like. But those are all ways that I would get knives that seem to be more in your risk profile. You can get knives dulled as well. If you buy one that's already sharp, you can get one dulled too. So that is another option. Time is made up. Unfortunately, I have things to do and I need to make dinner, so can't quite do that just yet. Unfortunately, I can't say fuck it. Time's an illusion. Infinite stream. Not gonna happen, sadly. I know. So upsetting. Are there any BDSM activities that can be done without a partner? Yes, I have at least one video, I think 2, where I talk about solo BDSM play. So if you haven't seen those, check them out because those have ideas in them. But yeah, you can do lots of stuff alone. I don't recommend doing bondage alone. That is in particular dangerous and literally how people die doing BDSM. Also, doing anything involving breath restriction alone, I do not recommend that either for similar reasons, i.e. death. Don't do that, please. But lots of other things you can do solo. And by solo, I mean literally by yourself in your house alone. Obviously, if you're doing bondage in a group with other people, but you're self-tying, that's a little bit less risky because lots of people to help you out. If you get in a sticky situation, it is in public, that's good. Public in the sense of around other people, but, within the context of the BDSM world. All good options there, but lots of things you can do by yourself. Have you heard of the Marilyn Manson groupie video? It's apparently about Manson torturing a girl with a chair. It was never released and it may or may not have been consensual. I mean, Manson has a lot. I had somebody leave an interesting comment in the video, which is like, why would Marilyn Manson be stupid enough to record himself doing something illegal? The answer is lots of drugs. The man does a lot of drugs. So like he clearly does a lot of like crazy shit. With fans, especially, and I listened. So today I listened to like the 3 episodes that I could find of him being on the Howard Stern show. First of all, he literally said that his entire book is a lie, but that it also was all true. So, like, again, Marilyn Manson's a fucking liar. You cannot trust anything he says because depending on what's convenient, it will either be true or a lie, and he may or may not deny at any point in the future, right? He'll say, my deepest regret in life is, smashing a perfume bottle in my mother's face. 5 years later, different interview. Oh, I never regretted that. She was a bitch. Which one is it, Manson? I don't know. I don't think you know either. But anyways, that's a little bit off topic. But I've not heard of that. But I know there's lots of videos and photos and scenarios. Like there's like stories about him doing enema contests with fans behind the stage, and there's one story where he was using a device to like choke a girl, and then like something broke in the machine. It almost like literally like what's the term? Decapitated her almost. And it was only when another band member stepped in and like cut her free that she narrowly escaped death. And lots of scenarios like that. So that wouldn't be surprising to me at all. He clearly does a lot of stuff that would get him in trouble with the law if anybody actually came forward. But the thing is when you're doing shit with like 15-year-old fans, they generally don't want to sue you. So that is why he gets away with it. It's an old meme. You can't use old memes on me. I don't even know new memes. You can't expect me to understand text meme references in a live stream. I have no idea what you're talking about. Don't meme at me. I'm an old lady. Let me die in peace with no knowledge of memes, please. Other than like the 5 memes that I know, which are science is a liar sometimes. Stop, get some help. And that's a Raven saying, "You nasty." Those are the memes that I like. The end. That's it. When Evie tries to tell you how to avoid abusive people and someone decides to comment about how BDSM is always abuse. Yeah, exactly. The irony. Oh, interesting. A follow-up to my question, I am personally an age player who prefers to be in an older headspace, meaning not ABDL. I have a hard time finding like-minded individual at age play events. I don't know if there was further from that. I feel you. Kink can get really unique and niche, and sometimes your local community is not going to jive with that. I get it. It sucks. I don't really know if I have specific advice about how to deal with that other than like cast a wider net, like online, age play spaces, see if there's anybody else. Because I imagine that there's like a fair number of, I don't know what the term is, bigs, tops, doms, etc. that like do age play with people who age play younger ages that for themselves age play older ages. So I don't know. I'm assuming this is in the sense that you're also, more on the submissive bottom side of the spectrum as well. So that's definitely a unique combination there. Okay. Yes. Okay. I just saw your question, Samantha. Thank you so much because we're out of time. This is the last question. It's a good one though, so thank you, Samantha. I recently had a play date with my dom. He had an anxiety attack after playtime. I tried to comfort him. It seemed to help, but he couldn't do aftercare for me. I experienced sub drop after. How should I discuss this with him? Yes. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's anything involving doms with anxiety attacks in. There's a book that is by Raven Caldera where he talks about dominance and mental illness. I do not recall anything in there about panic disorders. or anxiety attacks. I don't know if you mean like a panic disorder or a generalized anxiety thing, or what in particular, but yeah, I think it's really hard because you want to be in this space, obviously, where you're understanding that they're having a mental health issue that's outside of their control, outside of your control, and that obviously got in the way of doing aftercare for you, which is important because you deserve aftercare as well. It's important for you, but they obviously weren't in a place where they could provide that to you, and it's important to talk about it and discuss it because obviously, uh, thank you, motorcycle outside my building very loudly after dark. It's important to have your needs met and talk about, how that impacted you emotionally, but being in a place where you're not, blaming them for mental health circumstances that they can't really control. So I think if this was me, how I would open up the conversation is, I guess I would want to talk about like how the like I would want to kind of like open it up talking about their feelings and like centering their feelings first to make sure that they felt like they were understood and heard and that you do have a genuine concern for them, and to make sure that they're safe, and kind of really try as much as you can to feel like talking about it, kind of understand the circumstances that caused that to happen, if you helped them in the way that they needed to be helped. And I would focus on it more as like a solution thing rather than a my needs weren't met and you're a bad dom because you couldn't do that for me, right? Instead of thinking about that, I would be like, if we could walk through this again, for the future, I understand this might happen again, even if we both try our best to kind of mitigate those circumstances. What can we do to make sure that both our needs are met if that happens? I think some really, really great solutions are to have backup plans for self care, have backup plans maybe with a friend if you're going to be in a similar situation. Maybe you're doing a particular kind of scene that you end up figuring out can provoke these sorts of anxiety attacks in your partner. Have a backup plan where even if they can't take care of you, you can take care of you, or a friend, or something else, at least temporarily, until the anxiety attack is over and you're both in a space where you can do whatever it is that you planned on doing. Or find things that are both comforting for you together, both for your aftercare and for their anxiety attack. I don't know what kind of anxiety attack it is. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know if this requires them, taking a Xanax and, hanging out on the floor for an hour while they calm down, or taking a nap alone, or what they need exactly. I can only really extrapolate based on the limited information that I have. But if you can also find things that work both for helping them calm down from their anxiety attack and feel better, but that also help you feel better as well, I think that would be like the ultimate solution if you can find a compromise that really, really works well for both of you. Otherwise, I think having a backup plan and working on a solution together in a way that's not like placing blame on a partner for having a mental health issue they can't help but having. Personally, for me, because I do kind of fall more on the service side of the spectrum, for me, being able to help a partner, if they were having, you know, I don't know, like hypoglycemia when they're diabetic, or an anxiety attack or something else. If I have really concrete instructions of like how I can help in that scenario, that's actually really helpful for me in a dynamic, because I like feeling helpful and that can make me feel good, especially if I did a really like intense emotional scene. That can actually help me feel grounded as well. So if you're in the more service submissive side of things, maybe kind of embracing that as like part of your role there could be helpful. But obviously, if that's taking more spoons away from you that you don't have because you need aftercare, then like don't do that. But that's really an individual decision. Really quickly, I want to see if anybody else has any suggestions here before I wrap things up, because I think this is a really important question that does not get talked about, but I am glad we were having that conversation. Thanks. We had a small conversation, but I didn't want him to feel attacked. Good job. It just was a lot of impact play and degrading, so I felt like I needed aftercare. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially aftercare, degrading, all that. Super valid to need aftercare. I think in the future, again, like I said, maybe figure out a plan to enact delayed aftercare once the anxiety attack is addressed, or self-care protocol that you're supposed to go into for yourself. Especially if you're in a power exchange relationship, I think that can be really helpful, or having backup plans with a friend and just sort of, maybe, mitigating how intense your scenes get while you're trying to kind of troubleshoot the anxiety attack scenario to make sure you don't end up with like, you know, repeated instances of like really bad sub drop because you're still trying to figure out how to get your aftercare needs met while also dealing with the very relevant mental health needs of your partner, right? So all things to think about. All things to think about. Bandit has eaten the yak stick and she looks happy. She's like a little lump on a log right now. She's looking as happy as she could possibly physically be. Like a little loaf of bread. A little loaf of bread. Oh, jeez. Okay. Knife and sandpaper. My worry with knife and sandpaper is I don't know. I don't work with knives. So just really quickly, in terms of using a knife with sandpaper, my worry with that is that would cause like imperfect edges on the knife, and that can hold on to bacteria and cause skin tearing. So I don't know. I guess that would depend on the grit of the sandpaper and the particular, you know, metal that the knife is made out of and how big the edge is and all that other stuff. So I don't know. But things to think about that come to mind. Oh, letter openers? Good suggestion. Okay. I know. I was talking to, so when I'm doing this, I'm talking to Bandit, so I don't necessarily care if you guys can hear me or not, but she's a little lump on a log, so. Very sleepy little lump. Okay. Actually, I want to see. No, okay, that's weird. My voice is only like 5 decibels quieter when I'm facing away from the mic, so I don't know why that would make such a big difference. I'm also trying to figure out my mic levels because I swear sometimes I'm peaking and I'm not, and I do not have a technology coordinator. Okay. Well, I think we've answered that question. Yes, giving them the space if needed, then aftercare together would be great if possible. Yes. Great suggestion. All right. I think we got the anxiety question sorted. Best of luck. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me and hanging out with Bandit. And yeah, that is basically everything that I can think of. Thank you for hanging out. If you had questions that I didn't answer, we do these live streams every Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Or you can ask me questions over on Patreon. Link to that is down below. And I will see you all next time. Be safe. Enjoy life. And I will talk to you all again very soon. Bye.